What if I told you there is a level of discipline so extreme that once you reach it, motivation becomes irrelevant, excuses disappear, and comfort feels dangerous? Most people are scared of pain. This level of discipline makes you scared of comfort, not because it hurts, but because you know comfort is where dreams go to die. This is not the discipline they post on Instagram. This is not the discipline that feels good. This is the discipline that rewires your mind, isolates you, and turns you into someone people don't recognize anymore. And once you see it, you can never unsee it. Here's the real problem we're going to solve today. You don't lack motivation. You don't lack talent. You don't even lack opportunity. You lack control over yourself. Your mind wakes up strong, but collapses the moment things get uncomfortable. You know what to do, but you don't do it consistently. That gap between knowing and doing is where your life is bleeding potential every single day. Today, we're closing that gap, not with hype, not with inspiration, but with the scariest level of discipline most humans never reach. If you listen carefully, you'll understand why the most dangerous people in history were not the most talented. They were the most disciplined. By the end of this message, you won't be asking how to feel motivated. You'll be asking one terrifying question. Why have I been negotiating with my weaknesses? Discipline at its highest level is not about doing more. It's about removing choice. The scariest discipline people don't wake up asking, do I feel like it today? They wake up knowing the decision was already made yesterday. Discipline becomes identity when you stop treating it like something you turn on and off and start living it without thinking about it. At first, discipline feels like force. You wake up early and your mind argues. You want to quit halfway and your body complains. But over time, something shifts. You no longer ask yourself if you will do the work today. You already know the answer. It's the same way you don't debate whether to brush your teeth or not. You don't feel motivated to do it. You just do it because that's who you are. That's the scary part. Discipline stops being an action and starts being your default state. When discipline becomes identity, excuses feel strange. Laziness feels uncomfortable. Missing a workout doesn't feel like rest. It feels like something is wrong. Skipping your goals feels the same way wearing someone else's clothes feels wrong. Think about a person who always shows up on time. They don't call it discipline. They call it normal. That's identity. The same thing happens when you decide you are the kind of person who finishes what they start. You don't wait for motivation to study, work, train, or improve. You show up even when you are tired, bored, or emotional. On days when nothing feels good, discipline carries you. On days when everything feels easy, discipline keeps you grounded. This is why disciplined people look calm under pressure. Their life is not driven by mood. It's driven by standards. They don't ask what feels good right now. They ask who they decided to become. When discipline becomes identity, your habits protect you from your worst days. You stop relying on willpower because willpower runs out. Identity does not. You wake up and move with purpose because that is how you see yourself. Not doing the work would feel like betraying yourself, like lying about who you are, like breaking a promise that matters more than comfort, applause, or temporary relief. Comfort becomes the enemy the moment you realize how quietly it steals your future. Comfort never attacks you loudly. It doesn't shout or force you to quit. It whispers. It tells you to sleep 5 more minutes, to skip one workout, to delay one difficult conversation, to start tomorrow instead of today. In daily life, comfort looks harmless. It's the couch after work, the phone in your hand, the easy choice instead of the right one. But over time, those small comforts build a cage. Nothing dramatic happens. Your life just slowly stops moving forward. Disciplined people understand something most never notice. Comfort feels good now but costs you later. Growth feels heavy now but pays you forever. Think about the person who always says they are tired. Not tired from effort, tired from avoidance. Tired from carrying the weight of unfinished goals. Comfort did that. Every time you avoid discomfort, it gets stronger. Every time you choose it, it demands more. Soon you need comfort just to feel normal. Waking up early feels painful. Effort feels unbearable. Discipline feels impossible. The scariest part is how normal this feels to most people. But when comfort becomes the enemy, your mindset flips. You stop asking how to feel better and start asking how to get stronger. You begin to see discomfort as a signal, not a threat. The hard workout, the difficult study session, the lonely nights of focus, these are no longer punishments. They are proof that you are moving forward. In daily life, this looks like standing up when you want to sit, speaking when silence feels safer, working when no one is watching. Disciplined people don't enjoy pain, but they trust it. They know that comfort never made anyone confident, proud, or powerful. The life you want exists on the other side of the things you keep avoiding. And the moment you stop protecting your comfort is the moment your potential finally gets room to breathe. No negotiation with the mind means choosing a path of discipline and clarity over comfort and distraction. It means refusing to let fleeting thoughts, doubts, and fears dictate the direction of your life. Every morning when you wake up and decide to hit the gym, instead of scrolling through your phone, you are negotiating with your mind. And every time you push through that resistance, you win a small battle that adds up to a massive victory over your old self. Imagine a student who dreams of becoming a doctor. Late nights filled with books and endless practice tests are lonely. The mind whispers excuses and temptations to quit, but by saying no to those distractions, that student is slowly shaping a future self who is unstoppable. It is the same with anyone trying to break a habit, whether it's procrastination, addiction, or toxic relationships. Each time you deny the mind's immediate comfort, you are building a version of yourself that is stronger and more focused than ever before. Think about an artist working on their craft. Every stroke and every rejection they face tests their commitment. The mind begs for shortcuts or giving up, but refusing to negotiate with it means mastering the skill that will one day define their legacy, even in everyday life, like choosing to wake up early, to study, to save money instead of spending it carelessly, or to exercise instead of sitting idle. These small acts of defiance against the mind accumulate into monumental change. The mind is clever at finding reasons to settle, to justify staying safe and comfortable. Yet those who refuse to bargain, who stay committed to their goals, even when lonely or misunderstood, are the ones who disrupt the ordinary. They become dangerous to the old life that once held them back. The routines, the comfort zones, the limitations imposed by fear. Each act of no negotiation chips away at the barriers that kept them from achieving their true potential. The beauty of life is hidden behind the resistance of the mind. And only when we choose not to negotiate do we step into the extraordinary. Loneliness is the price you pay for growth, for stepping out of comfort and mediocrity. It is the silent companion of anyone who chooses to rise above the ordinary. When you decide to chase your dreams instead of following the crowd, people will not always understand your choices. They will question why you wake up early to work on your goals, while others sleep. Why you say no to meaningless gatherings to focus on your craft. Why you invest in yourself instead of indulging in instant pleasures. Every late night spent studying while your friends are partying. Every hour you spend training while others relax. Every moment you choose solitude over distraction. The mind tries to make you feel isolated. It whispers that you are missing out, that you are alone in your struggle. But this loneliness is not emptiness. It is the currency of transformation. Imagine a writer who stays up late crafting stories. While the world sleeps, the silence of the room becomes their canvas. Without the loneliness, the masterpiece would never exist. Think of an athlete waking up at dawn, training before the sun rises, their friends still dreaming. The ache in their muscles and the solitude of early mornings is the price that builds champions. In everyday life, choosing to invest in yourself, to work on skills, to save, to resist unhealthy habits, it often means saying no to temporary pleasures and companionships that do not align with your vision. Loneliness is the test of patience, resilience, and inner strength. It separates those who follow the easy path from those who walk the road less traveled. The people who endure it learn to love their own company, to find comfort in effort and consistency, to trust the process when no one is watching. Those who embrace it emerge stronger, sharper, unstoppable. And their achievements often shock the world because the quiet work done in isolation transforms them into someone who can no longer fit into their old life, someone who has outgrown the ordinary. And only through this solitude do they become truly extraordinary. You become dangerous to your old life when you start refusing to settle for comfort. when you begin to see through the illusions that once held you back. Every choice you make to grow, to learn, to push beyond limits, creates a version of yourself that cannot fit into the routines and expectations of your past. Imagine a young professional who decides to start a business while their friends are content with 9 to 5 jobs. Every new skill they learn, every risk they take, every long night of planning and persistence makes them a force that cannot be ignored. The old life that once defined them, the habits, the relationships, the mindset of settling, is now threatened because they have evolved beyond it, even in small acts, like someone choosing to wake up early to run while the rest of the city sleeps, or a student refusing to cheat to pass exams, and instead studying relentlessly. These acts chip away at the safety and familiarity of what was once normal. A person who starts prioritizing self-discipline over temporary pleasure, who embraces discomfort to build resilience, becomes a disruptor of their former existence. The mind that once thrived on excuses now trembles in the presence of someone who has mastered focus. The relationships that once encouraged mediocrity are tested. The environment that once defined limitations now feels fragile because the person within has grown beyond its grasp. Even an artist dedicating countless hours to perfect their craft, or an athlete pushing through pain and fatigue, is dangerous to their old life, because their persistence rewrites the story they once knew. Every breakthrough, every skill gained, every act of courage distances them from the old identity. They carry a power that demands respect, a vision that cannot be contained, and a determination that dismantles the comfort zones that previously shaped them. In becoming this new version of yourself, you naturally challenge the old patterns, leaving the past behind while forging a path that only those willing to embrace change can follow. And so, as we reflect on this journey of transformation, remember that the path to greatness is rarely comfortable. It is paved with moments when your mind begs for compromise, when loneliness feels heavy on your shoulders, when the world around you questions your choices. But it is precisely in these moments that the seeds of your extraordinary future are sown. Every great achiever, every visionary, every person who has ever changed the world has faced the same trials. The difference lies not in the obstacles, but in the refusal to negotiate with the mind, the courage to pay the price of solitude, and the determination to become dangerous to the life they once knew. Think of the legendary Michael Jordan, who was cut from his high school basketball team, yet refused to let rejection define him. He spent hours practicing when no one was watching. His mind would have given in to excuses, yet he chose discipline over comfort, and that choice made him not just a player, but an icon. Or imagine J.K. Rowling, living in hardship and rejection, yet writing every day in coffee shops. While the world doubted her, she embraced loneliness and uncertainty. She refused to settle, and in doing so she became a force that could not be contained. The same principle applies to your life. Every small act of no negotiation, every moment you endure loneliness with a purpose, every decision to grow beyond your old self, compounds into a power so profound that your past can no longer define you. Your old life, with its limitations, fears, and doubts, cannot hold you, because you are transforming into someone who commands respect, someone who inspires, someone whose very presence challenges mediocrity. The greatest minds, leaders, and creators often remind us that discomfort is the currency of greatness. Tony Robbins teaches that success is the result of consistent action, even when motivation fades. That extraordinary results come from decisions that scare you and push you beyond what you thought possible. Oprah Winfrey overcame rejection and poverty, but through persistence and belief in herself, she became a beacon of hope for millions. The lesson is clear: you must embrace the discomfort, the solitude, and the resistance, because they are the proving ground of your true potential. In your daily life, whether you wake up early while the world sleeps, push through physical pain while others rest, invest time and energy into learning while others procrastinate, or create when others consume, you are stepping into a new reality, a reality where you are dangerous to the limitations of your old life, where your vision, discipline, and courage redefine what is possible. Remember the words of Bruce Lee: the successful warrior is the average man, with laser-like focus. Your power is forged in these moments of focus and resilience, in these moments of refusal to settle. Let the whispers of doubt and fear remind you not of weakness, but of how far you are capable of going. Let the silence of solitude teach you that true strength is cultivated within. Let the challenges and sacrifices you endure become the fuel that propels you into a life of purpose, achievement, and unstoppable momentum. The mind will always try to bargain, the world will often misunderstand, but your persistence, your courage, and your refusal to compromise will carve a path that is unmistakably yours. As you continue to honor your growth, embrace the solitude, and defy the limitations of your past, know that you are stepping into greatness. You are becoming the person you were always meant to be, the person who does not merely survive, but thrives, who does not follow, but leads, who does not settle, but conquers. And the journey you undertake today, with discipline, focus, and unwavering belief in yourself, will echo in every success, every triumph, and every extraordinary life you are destined to create. Remember that the price of loneliness is the gateway to freedom. The refusal to negotiate with the mind is the key to mastery. And the danger you bring to your old life is the signal that you are finally becoming unstoppable. Your story, your legacy, and your impact are waiting on the other side of resistance. And every step you take in courage, every sacrifice you endure in solitude, every choice you make to rise above the ordinary, is a declaration that you are here not just to exist, but to dominate, to inspire, and to leave a mark on the world that can never be erased. So carry forward with relentless determination, unwavering focus, and fearless belief, because greatness is not given, it is claimed by those bold enough to pay the price, endure the loneliness, and become dangerous to anything that dares to hold them back.